Hey guys, I'm back with Great Britain European side, and they make $28. And this is what I like to buy. I like to buy 9 infantry. Reason why is because we have no idea what Germany's going to do. Germany had a really good turn. They still have the majority of their navy. They only lost one sub, so we're kind of in a pickle here, and we lost everything. Alright, so we have no idea if Germany's going to go Operation Sea Lion or if they're going to go hard towards Russia, and so we have to prepare for the worst possible scenario for us, and that means Operation Sea Lion, which means that we have to prepare by placing land units. So that's why I buy 9 infantry straight up at the very beginning. Alright, now there's not a whole lot Great Britain could do because this is about everything we've got in Africa. That's everything that's on Great Britain, and there's a few units here in Canada and a few units down here in the south. But the things that I'm going to show you are going to be really, really important, and I think that they really help. So, like I said, we have no idea if Germany is going to go Operation Sea Lion, and so what we want is as many units on Great Britain as possible. And so right here, what the Germans did is they used this sub to destroy that destroyer and transport to keep these units here in Canada. Well, we have one destroyer left, so we're going to try and see if we can't destroy this submarine. We're going to take a gambling dice chance, and if we win, then we can maybe bring an infantry and a tank over and help defend Great Britain from Operation Sea Lion if that's the way the Germans decide to go. Now, the other thing is right here, all this mayhem is about to just happen. So basically what happens is the British are outnumbered naval unit wise when the Italians mass their navy together. However, it's split up right now, and that's the only time it's ever going to be split up, and so we have to take our opportunity now. So we have to destroy this sea zone, and if we're gutsy and we feel like it, we can go attack Tobruk as well. Then after that happens, then all that's left will be everything that's on Italy, this sea zone, so those are the only naval units, and then a few units there and a few units there. That's it. So if we do this, then we'll have a much better chance of dealing with Italy, because these are huge capital ships. You got a battleship and a cruiser there, and Italy can't afford to rebuild that battleship. Italy makes $10 a turn. It'd take 2 turns just to build a battleship, so it's not worth it, and so Italy will just spend it on other things rather than a big old battleship. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to take our whole navy, and we're going to drive it into that zone right there. Now they do have 3 fighters to scramble, so we're going to have to do some extra stuff to make this in our favor. And basically what's going to happen is we're going to take the majority of our fighting units from London. We're going to send the strategic bomber first. It'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 because the airbase will land in Cyprus. So we got a battleship. This tactical bomber is also going to land on Cyprus. And then we're going to send down 2 fighters from London. And they're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this sea zone and land on the aircraft carrier. Okay? So that's how we get away with that. So now we have a lot of stuff going on here, right? So now this gives us about an 80% chance if they scramble, and definitely 100% chance if they don't scramble. So we're right in the same position as we were when the Germans destroyed our whole navy. So the Italians have the same decision. Is it worth risking the fighters that are really worth a lot, or is it not worth risking the fighters? Now the other thing we're going to do is, usually we have a cruiser here in Sea Zone 91, and so we can use a cruiser and a fighter from Gibraltar to attack this destroyer and transport, and then we'll throw in this fighter here into this mayhem, and we'll leave a fighter there in London. That way there's more protection, there's more air protection in London. But since Germany forced our hand, we're going to have to use 2 fighters, and this fighter will land here in Malta to destroy that destroyer and transport. And the reason why is because If we can get rid of at least 2 transports, and that really hurts Italy because they can only take 1 transport worth of reinforcements to North Africa. And that's exactly what we want, to cut off their flow of troops. Alright, now I will show you what you can do here with the Tobruk battle, but this is totally up to you. I found it works sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't work. It depends on the dice rolls. It's about a 50-50 dice roll. And the big problem I found with it is, even if this does work, you lose the majority of your army, and so there's nothing to really defend Egypt. And so Italy is just like, hey, well, I got to transport that I can load up with some troops, and then I can save these fighters, and then instead of scrambling them, and then use them in the attack and just take over Egypt, build an industrial complex, and then take over Africa. And so that's what I've seen. But I've also seen where Italy just doesn't have the resources to do that, and then America walks in, and then Italy's just kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place, basically. So it's totally up to you. You can do this, or you can not. I'm going to opt to not this time, but I'll show you what you would do. So you would send in everything right here in, and this mech can move 1 and then, blitz with a tank. So you can send that in for free. And then once you destroy this destroyer and transport, you can use this transport and pick up an infantry and artillery. And so you'd have an infantry and an artillery. And you'd have, so basically you'd have 3 infantry, 2 artillery, a tank, and a mechanized infantry versus 3 infantry, a tank, artillery, and a mech. So you're up by 1 unit. And basically, so the way that this would work out better is if we still had that cruiser here. We could use the cruiser and the fighter from Gibraltar, take out this destroyer and transport, leave this the way it is, and then take the fighter from Malta and use it in the attack, and then that would really give you a boost. And so you would it'd be a lot easier to win that way. But I'm going to opt to not do that, so I'm going to move these units back. Alright, so these are our attacks. We've got this one, and then this gamble dice roll over there. And those are the only 3 attacks that we've got, so let's go ahead and roll. Alright, so let's do this one up here first. So we got a destroyer. Nope. Submarine. Nope. Destroyer. Nope. Submarine. Nope. Destroyer. There's the hit and the submarine. Nope. So we won that battle. And so now that means on our non-combative turn we can move this transport over, and then the next turn we can bring an infantry and a tank over, unless Germany decides to do some funny business with their other subs. Alright, and we'll go ahead and do the easy one right here. So we've got 2 fighters. There's 2 hits, that's all we need. Destroyer. Ooh, so we lost a fighter. And that's never fun, because we don't like losing air units. But sometimes that happens. So we still got everything on Malta. The destroyer and transport is gone, so that's 1 less transport Italy has to deal with. And now you as Italy, you have to decide, is it worth scrambling or is it not worth scrambling? And now me personally, since this is about an 80% chance, I'm going to save the fighters, because then I can use the fighters down here in North Africa. And that would be a whole lot more help, because I need to hold on to some stuff in North Africa to keep the British occupied until I can get a navy built back up and get some money flowing from Greece and southern France and Gibraltar and so on and so forth. So, alright, let's go ahead and do the big one. So I, Italy, am not going to scramble, and I, Germany, am not going to scramble. Alright, so we've got a destroyer. Nope. And the aircraft carrier doesn't attack, but we can take hits on it, so that's always helpful. Then we've got 2 fighters and a cruiser. So that's 2 hits. And then we've got a tactical and a bomber. There's the 3rd hit. So as you can see, they wiped out our navy 1 turn, so Now you know why it's such a high percentage. So, cruiser, nope, and battleship, nope. Oh, that's not cool at all. So, the Italians are going to lose their whole navy, and they didn't even get a roll back. So, we've got a little bit of an issue as Italy, and not just a little bit of an issue, we got a big issue. Let me find this fighter. Alright, so we got the whole British Navy here. These guys will land on Cyprus. So now we have the whole British Navy to deal with, and we didn't do any kind of damage. And now what I like to do with this transport here is, so we're still, since I opted to not take Tobruk, we're not going to be using that destroyer or that transport in the battle for that. So what I like to do is I like to take this, pick up the infantry and anti-aircraft gun from Malta, come back here, and then come back here and protect it, per se. We still have our navy, and we can do some damaging stuff. And so we're going to leave this infantry here just so to make them have to fight. Maybe they can take it, maybe they won't. And then basically what we're going to do is we're going to retreat everything back. So we got a transport safe, air units back. Didn't lose anything in the naval battle. Now we have all the stuff on Egypt. We're going to move these 2 infantry to Rhodesia. We're going to take this destroyer from Sea Zone 71 and go 1, 2, 3 because of the naval base. So now we have a destroyer along with our transport. We're going to move this transport over to Sea Zone 106. And then I'm going to move this fighter here to London, and this anti-aircraft gun and these 2 infantry to London, because we want to protect London for as long as possible. And then we're going to move this infantry and artillery in Canada, Ontario to Quebec. And then we're going to place our new units, and that's 9 infantry, right here in London. So now we got quite a bit of stuff in London, we got quite a bit of stuff in Egypt, we still have our full navy, a large air force, and we got reinforcements coming on the way. So looks like Great Britain's in much better shape than I thought they were going to be in. Alright, and so they spent 27, so they saved $1, so they make 29. And then they have their $5 bonus for controlling all their original territories. Alright, now that's it for Great Britain European, so I will see you for Great Britain Pacific.